Hi, welcome to Major Criteria for WBE certification. My name is Karen Goldner. I'm the Managing Director of Established Business Services at the Women's Business Development Center in Chicago. We're going to talk about the WBENC certification, Women's Business Enterprise National Council certification, some of the main things that you really want to be aware of before you apply. We're going to talk about ownership, legal control, and operational control. Ownership means that 51% of your company needs to be owned by a woman or women, not 50.x%, but 51%. And that ownership needs to be unrestricted. What does that mean? If you own the company in your own name, Susie Smith is the name on the stock certificate, then that would be typically unrestricted ownership. But if you own it through the Smith Family Trust, or through another LLC, then we need to make sure that those entities actually meet the criteria for female control. Also, if you happen to have, or the women owner happens to have a power of attorney with a male that gives him authority over her business affairs, then that can also be a problem. So if you don't have a power of attorney, that's all good. If you do, then that would be something to spend a little bit of time thinking about to make sure that you have control and frankly that your male power of attorney does not have control over your affairs. What do we mean by legal control? Here we look to the bylaws or the operating agreement. And we look at both the ownership level, so that would be either the shareholders in a corporation or the members in an LLC. And we also look at the board or manager level. So at the ownership level, whatever percentage of ownership is the female ownership percentage, so that might be 51% or 60% or whatever number it is, that percentage ownership needs to be able to have the control of the decisions in that business. So for instance, if a woman owns 51% of the company and a man owns 49%, that could be fine from an ownership perspective, right? Because we've already talked about how 51% is enough. However, if you needed 2/3 vote of the shareholders in order to borrow money or to make capital expenditures or to make other decisions such as that, then the woman does not actually have control of the business, does she? And so that would be a problem. So that's what we mean by the term supermajority. Unanimous consent is a similar concept. It simply is that maybe you need unanimous consent of all of the members of the LLC in order to borrow money. Again, that would not be acceptable. That would not meet the Women's Business Enterprise National Council or WBENC criteria. And then similarly, the woman owner or owners have to have control at the board or the manager level. And this gets a little bit more specific based on the exact board or manager structure that you have in your corporation or your LLC. But simply put, if you have a board of directors and there are more women than men, then you're fine at the board level, as long as there's not, again, a supermajority of the board. For instance, if all the board members have to agree on something and you have 3 female board members and 1 male board member, there's more women than men, but if all the board members have to agree, then you're not going to be able to have female control of the company. So that's the other thing. And nobody goes into business because they like to read their bylaws or their operating agreement. But you should. You really need to review your legal documents, your governance documents, prior to application for WBENC certification. And then lastly, we look at what I think about as operational control. So women have to actually effectively control the business. A woman has to have the highest title in the business. Now, sometimes this can be confusing if you have a woman CEO and a male president, but the title of CEO is never defined anywhere, or maybe the woman is a president and the man is a CEO. If you're going to be doing something like that, you need to make sure that your legal documents clearly spell out which title is the superior title, and then that's the title that the woman has to have. Secondly, the woman or women have to have expertise in the business. They don't necessarily need to know how to run the backhoe in a construction business, but they need to know enough about, for instance, the construction industry, that they're able to, critically oversee their subordinates. And then lastly, the company has to operate independently of other companies. So what do I mean by that? If you are a manufacturer's rep and you sell product for company X, and company X presumably is not a woman-owned company, then you are not independent of, your company is not independent of this non-woman-owned company, and you're not going to get certified. Obviously, corporations and businesses operate in an interdependent ecosystem, et cetera, but your company needs to be able to stand on its own in order to get certified. So that was kind of the short and sweet thing about the main issues with certification. What would be your next steps? So if you've gone through this little video and you think, yeah, I'm good, all of these things, check, 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 it's all good, then I would recommend that you go to our website, and the link is here, wbdc.org, and in the certification section, you'll see an infographic called How to Apply for Certification. That walks you through the actual steps of getting certified. Or if you go to our website and go into the calendar, you can see when we're doing another live event. Typically, these are live virtual events, and you can attend that workshop. Those are always at no charge. If you have more specific questions, like when I said trust, that rang a bell, then please go ahead and just schedule an appointment. You can use write the phone number down, call extension 100, and we'll get you set up. My name is Karen Goldner. I would be the person for you to talk to. And if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.